Hey, what's going on, Knights? This is the Gamer. Welcome back to another epic video! So today, we're gonna be going over something a little bit more serious than, like, not serious, right? But we'll be going over the Molagora problem. I'm sure if you haven't seen my last video, I basically already had a rant about this. And I was like, you know what, let me put a video out there just in case somebody may see it, maybe a bigger YouTuber or maybe even the developers will see this, and maybe they'll take a few ideas here and there. I don't know if they've actually thought of this, but I'm going to go in order. I'm going to go over the problems first, so I guess people can understand, and I guess some sort of solution, right? So I was talking about this in my Discord, and I know I'm gonna have something else in the background, maybe farming or something. But I was talking about this in my Discord. I wanted to see y'all's thoughts. If you don't know, I have a Discord, and if you want to join it, go ahead and look for one of my streams. It's in the description. Always be in the description. But let's go ahead and talk about the Molagora problem, right? So when a month ago, when they announced this really huge update, they announced one thing called skill points, and you have to be level 10, friendship level 10, and for you to get these 3 Molagoras, you had to have your skills maxed, or you can use the 3 skill points to skill up the one hero. It does not stack like Molagoras, where you can use Molagoras on anybody. It is actually on your certain units, right? So I was really excited about it. I was like, man, is this going to actually change? Is this going to actually help us with the Molagora problem? Because we're in a Molagora drought, and I was thinking it was just me, and which is why I really not talked about it. And if you haven't followed my channel in a while, or haven't followed my channel, I usually do not talk bad stuff about Epic 7 because I love the game so much. But there are times when Epic 7 needs to be told some stuff. So I talked about it in my Discord, and here's a few things that people were saying, right? So the first person that I want to bring up, Silanos, of course, said he was kind of on the. I'm not understanding if he was against or wanting more Molagoras. He basically said TLDR, 15 plus Mola should be only for your main units or waifus or husbandos and not the flavor of the month. I hope I got your request. So I'm guessing he means to not plus 15 everybody, right? Because in reality, you can't. You cannot do that unless you whale and have bought all the Molagora packs. And this is actually something I talked about later on, which is reason why I wanted to get y'all input is because I feel like there's kind of a line between the whales and the non-whales, right? I'm kind of like, I don't spend so much money to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a definite whale. I spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars at a time. I don't do that, but I do buy like the monthly packs, or if they do come out with a really good pack, like the summer pack that recently came out, or not the summer pack, the rank up pack that came out. I bought the $30 one, and I was gonna buy the $50 one, but I got paid and then they took it out. So unfortunate thing. But reason why I'm bringing that up is because I want to see everybody's views on this, because it affects people differently. This skill point, I mentioned it in my last video as well, is that I have not bought a Molagora pack, and like I said, I'm not a big whale by any means, but I have spent money, and even then I've only have 1 plus 15 units. So I only got 3 Molagoras, and somebody in my comments said, oh, I got 20 plus, which is awesome. And this is why I wanted to bring it up to y'all, because it is affecting people differently. It is not the same all across the board, which is interesting to me. Kai, or Keel, as if you've been to my stream, you know her. It's not an idea, but they're adding so much unnecessary stuff. For example, skill points, and that wouldn't have happened if they just did the Mola refund, right? So I agree, and I kind of am in the middle of this, right? Yes, they should have just given out, should have had a plan or something more to give out for Molagoras, not just skill points, because this is just another thing we have to worry about. I don't necessarily want a gigantic refund. If you have not been playing this game for a long time, we actually did have a refund a long time ago. If you think Molagoras cost a lot now, they cost a lot more back then, and then they cut the cost down and they refunded everybody, right? And at that time, everybody was like, "Oh man, I'm swimming in Molagoras now," and even I was. I think I mentioned it before as well that I had like 80 or something like that. But when this happened, I was like, okay, I need to make sure that I don't waste these, because more than likely they're not gonna do this ever again. And surely but slowly, my Molagora started going down and down and down and not recovering from that, which is, I'm like, man, like I wasn't even like you saw, or like I said, I only have 1 plus 15 unit, and it was because of Luna, and that's because she needs everything on those skills. I personally do like Kayron, and somebody caught me saying Crayon. I love Kayron, but even then he's not plus 15, because I was like, why am I gonna Molagora? I think it's like 8 Molagoras or something like that, or it's like 5, maybe something like that, just for his immortality buff to be brought down, you know. And to me, I was like, it makes no sense for me to do that, because I'm like, if he's already hit his immortality, that means that he's already almost dead, unless he has lifesteal, and mine does not have lifesteal. So I'm like, there's no point in plus 15ing him, right? And I'm bringing this up because I'm going to bring up a solution in a little bit. So if you don't want to hear the complaints, you can just skip to that part. But I just wanted to kind of talk about this, because it isn't just me. This is people from my Discord as well. That's why I brought it up. There's another thing that's kind of weird, right? So we're talking about this in the Discord as well, is that, so let's say Soul Weavers, right? DN. That's the first one I thought of, because I was like, I think I mentioned in my last video too, that DN's first skill, I didn't plus 15 it because all it was damage. Now I understand you want to have this pattern of plus 15, right? Everybody, that's why it had so much damage. I think the third skill only had 2 skill ups. The second skill had like 6 or something like that. That's already 8. So you have to make up another 7, which is why her first skill was like damage, 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 combat readiness, damage, combat readiness, damage. But to me, I'm like, I don't want to plus 15 it just to have that damage, or just to like say, oh, I plus 15 DN to have what it was like. It's a crazy amount. It's like 25% damage output, but it's like, she's not a damage dealer. So why would I want to do that, right? And somebody else brought a Lee, if you know, she's one of my moderators. Lee brought this up, and the name is not Lee. It's just that I gave her that name because Lee. It was like holy and then a bad word. So I didn't want. I just called her Lee. So I was like, So this is what Lee said. Molas are just a core issue in the unit building all around. Sure, there's gear, catalysts, runes, and the obvious fodder process, but most of their potential is locked behind a currency that is more or less only available a few times a week. With the exception of some days, events, etc., what even is the point of building a hero when you only get a little of what they are fully capable of? I get it. You should pick and choose more carefully. I've heard it before. So that's something as well. And that's why my Molagoras have been like kind of spread out in a way. They've been spread out so evenly. I'm like, and I've mentioned this as well, I've only maxed the third skills or the second skills if they need it. If it's attackers, I try to max them as much as possible, because that's their attackers. They need the they actually need the damage output, you know. So plus 15ing, you know, when you plus 15, it kind of limits your usage on anything else. For me, I actually use a variety of heroes. I don't like using the same hero, even though it seems like I do. I like to kind of change it up. I like to kind of use different things and hoping they would work. So they have their own gear set, and they have their own, obviously I want to Molagora them as much as possible, but wanting to do that, you really can't, especially as a content creator. I want to have as many units built, because I'm like, okay, if a unit dies in Guild Wars, I have to make sure I have a backup plan and not be like, oh well, those were my core units, I can't use anything anymore, you know. And I believe there's a lot more people that are not have the same mindset, but they want to have more units because they're like, well, I can't use any more attacks. I'm gonna automatically lose because I don't have any more units built. I have them built, but they're not to their potential. So that's, I forgot what I was saying. I kind of my mom was leaving. So you want to have heroes and a variety in case they end up dying, and having Molagoras for all of them plus 15ing them, it's a bit much, you know. And it's not just like, oh well, it's just plus 15, you only need 15 Molagoras. That's a big no, because it goes from 1 and then 3 and 5 or something like that. The next point being brought up is something that I brought up as well, is that there's too many heroes being released for the amount of Molagoras that they're giving out per week, right? So you get the conquest points Molagora seed, then you get the guild Molagora seed if you're in a guild, which, by the way, if you're not in a guild, get in a guild. It's really beneficial. And then you have the weekly transmit stones as well, but that drains your transmit stones like crazy. And those are, I think those are the weekly ones. That's it, right? You get 3, right? 3, 12 Molagoras a month, right? That is not saying that that's a little bit, but at the same time, it's like if you have 0, you have to wait a month to at least skill up 1 skill, which is kind of crazy. And I get it. And this is something else that I understand, right? From a business standpoint, you don't want to give so much to the point where you're not gaining money anymore. And I get that. It's just that, can we find a balance to where it's like we're not giving too much, but we're giving enough to actually be able to use these heroes effectively. There's always heroes that they drop and everybody wants to try out because it looks so good. Let's flip the coin, right? Somebody said on here, people plus 15 alpha and felt really disappointed. Not throwing that was an intentional pun, but it is true. A lot of people, like I said, to me, I still don't think she needs a buff. Her skills are unique, but I feel like people expected her to do a lot of damage. But that's a whole different point, right? So people plus 15 her, and then she's in storage, right? And then this update came out. You only get 3 back because you plus 15 her. I don't know. I feel like that's super low. Something that the developers need to understand is that we don't have an infinity amount of Molagoras going around, right? Because here's the thing, right? Right now there's a limited hero, Hugh Fine. In a couple weeks there's gonna probably be a new hero, you know. And there's so many heroes. They're all unique. And the thing is that this is what makes Epic 7. This is why I love Epic 7, and it's the fact that you're able to like a character and you're able to build it, right? You like for me, it's if you've gone to any of my streams, any of my videos, you know that Kayron is my favorite. Kayron, since he came out, I loved him, and I was hyping him before everybody jumped on his train. But there's constantly heroes coming out. Like you see something else. Like let's say for me, right? I'm like, oh man, all right, Crayon, I had fun with you. I want something new. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. I'm going to get it. I'm gonna skill it up. You like it, but you don't have the Molagoras anymore, you know. And like I said, especially since if you're starting after the refund happened, you're now overwhelmed with how many Molagoras you need, right? Because at least for us that's been here for a long time, we were able to make up for the kind of the drought because of that refund. Now that the new players have come, it's like I said, it sucks for them because they don't have the Molagoras. They're starting from the bottom up, and we did as well, but they actually returned a whole bunch of them to us. That's why I'm saying this is kind of different. This affects people differently all across the board because everybody is receiving it differently. Like I said, for me, plus 15, I only got 3 Molagoras. A lot of other people who've actually plus 15 a lot of their heroes, they got a lot of Molagoras back, you know. So it's kind of a weird balance. So if you have any suggestions, and I know I've been talking a lot, about the problems and not the solution. We're gonna get into solutions right now. If you have any thoughts, leave it in the comment section down below. It'll probably give people ideas. I don't want to say I'm alone in this, but let's go ahead and get into the solutions, right? Okay, since we're already on the topic of crayon, I discussed this in my last video and I still feel very strongly about it. I'm going to put it in kind of a perspective of the last update, right? So the last update, like I said, you get the skill points, right? And you get Molagoras depending if you max their skills, right? So what if instead of that, we get a Molagora per max skill? Just one, not three. It's still the same amount, right? Because if you max, you only get three, right? You get 3 Molagoras. 1, 2, 3. So why can't you just change it to that? I feel like that would help a lot of people, because like I said myself, I have skills 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the point is that, like, if that would have happened, I'm not even halfway through my nat 5s, and I would have already had 11, 12 Molagoras, and that would help me a lot. Now I get it, like I said, like I personally don't like complaining, you know, when it comes to Epic 7, because I'm like, we don't need to be given everything, right? Like even the Mystic rotation, when they gave a pity for that, I was like, why would you do that? That's like, that makes the MO5s not special, especially since the whales can just spend so much money on Mystic medals and then just like, all right, now I have the MO5, you know? And people who aren't able to have that kind of fair ground. But that's, like I said, I keep branching off. So I feel like if they did that, it's not even a hard fix. Y'all are already halfway there. Just change it to the point where it's like every skill, and I don't know if it's super hard, I've never been into gaming developing, but every skill, 1 Molagora. Easy, right? Okay, next one. I'm just choosing them out of random, it is not specific. 4-star heroes. I believe 4-star heroes should be in between of 3 stars and 5 stars, right? So a while back, they also, I forgot, they gave 2 Molagora refunds, I believe. One was for the reduction of Molagora cost, and now the second one was when nat 3s, you actually had to use Molagoras for nat 3s, which was crazy. So now you just use Stigma, which is why Stigma's up there. So why don't 4 stars have that in between kind of factor, right? Because they're not nat 3s and they're not nat 5s. They're literally in the middle. So why not half Stigma and then half Molagoras? Maybe you can like use the same amount of Molagoras, right? 1, 2, and 4, right? I'm looking at 1, 2, and 4. You can leave those like that. You don't have to make them cheap to the point where it's like 1, 1, 1, right? Because I get it. You need to make money as a business. But you look at it, right? Stigma, first 2 skills, let's say first 2 skills, right? If it's 5, yeah, first 2 skills, 2, 4, 6. That's 6 Molagoras for 1 nat 4, right? Like, I feel like that would help out so much. If you combine both of them, that would help the Molagora Drought so much. And maybe, like I said, maybe this would help temporarily. And I kind of have a more long-term fix, which would be that was kind of a short point. That's it. If they can just half the skills to Stigma and then half skills to Molagora, I feel like that would be okay, you know. Next thing is to give Molagoras every time you log in. I'm just kidding. No, if you just double the Molagoras, right? If you get 2 a week here, 2 a week here, 2 a week here, 2 a week in I feel like that would help even just a little bit. Maybe even like you see here, 3. Why don't you do 3 for conquest points, right? I don't know. I feel like those will help out so much, and I feel like putting them all together would blast everything out the water, right? It would help out. It won't be broken to the point where it's just not possible. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, everybody will have so many Molagoras at that point. And it's like, no, I feel like that these are reasonable. And if it is not, then let me know in the comment section down below. I feel like they're kind of reasonable. But y'all let me know. This was extremely long. It shouldn't have been this long. But let me know in the comment section down below if you have any other solutions as well. I would love to hear them. Or if you think I'm wrong and it's like, no, you're the only one having this problem, then let me know. I feel like for the most part everybody understood me in my last video, and which is why I'm making this video. So like I said, if you have any other solutions or any other ideas, put it in the comment section down below. You never know if the devs are watching. I don't know. I don't know who's watching these videos, and I hope I reach somebody. I hope this makes sense and it is not just me complaining. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said last video, subscribe if you want more Molagoras. I hope that, like I said, this reaches out to anybody, and like I said, I hope I'm not just going crazy and I'm not the only one just thinking about this. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Every like, comment, subscription is appreciated, and hope to see you on the next video or stream. All right, peace.